like to invite us to consider it's a merging of a couple of different themes and ideas. And one is an antidote. As an antidote, metta has been taught also can serve as an antidote to self-criticism, to self-judgment, to the self-judgmental thought coming up. You're terrible, you're awful, you're a failure, you haven't accomplished anything in your life, you're not going anywhere. Just the most horrible, terrible things that we wouldn't tell anyone, but it just comes up and just gets unleashed, and it can be very painful, and not for everyone, not all the time, but it can come up now and then, and it tends to be more prevalent somehow in the West, because we measure ourselves so much according to these external standards of that the media holds up: power and money and youth and beauty, and it can cause a lot of suffering. So with that, and again, you may not identify with this right now, and so you are welcome to file this teaching on, and for later use, or there might be some other areas that this can actually be helpful. This can be supportive. So metta, loving kindness, and practices of the heart in general, there are many ways to really shake ourselves out of the prison, this made up fabricated prison of comparison and self-judgment. Because maybe you have a memory of, a moment, or if you've had the storm of self-judgment, self-comparison, one moment you're fine, it's like you're going about your business, and the next moment it just comes on, and then this fabrication gets created, and then sadness and depression and self-recrimination. So how to one way to shake ourselves out of, there are many practices. One practice I like to offer for us to explore is in a way taking ourselves out of it, because the self-criticism, self-recrimination, self, it all has to do with the self. Me. I'm terrible. I'm great. I'm awful. I'm fantastic. I, right? So what if we just take the self out of it in a very healthy way, really turn this whole paradigm on its head? And one way we can explore this is, how may I be of service? How may this being be of service? How can I serve? So in a way, with that question, it's intended to not see us as wanting, I want this, I'm not getting that. Is, how can this being that is me, with all the connections in the world, with all the personal connections, with all the relationships, with all the skills, how can I show up in the way to serve the world? So it's not about me getting, it's about me. How can I offer? How can I offer? How can I let my heart, my body, my resources be a gift unto others? And this can be a radical way to shift ourselves out of this me, I'm not good enough, I want this. It just completely changes the frame. It changes the frame. And along these lines of, how may I serve? How can I be of service? And it can be simple. It can be very simple. We're not talking about grand, could be grand, right? You could change the direction of your life, but it could also be in very subtle ways. With this person I'm in a relationship with, I can smile, I can say something kind to them, I can serve them, I can call them up and call up a friend or someone, say, how are you doing? Do you need anything? If they're alone, can we hang out this weekend or something? Just could be service, could show up in very, very small ways. So basically, instead of it being about us, to not make it about us, not about me. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about me. And this practice isn't about me, 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 me. Make it not about me. And in the same way, I'll share a quote by Marianne Williamson that has been attributed to so many people. But again, within this perspective of service, of shining our hearts, shining our lights, not from a place of ego, like I'm great, I'm fantastic, but shining our light from a place of service, of a place of goodness. So I'll read this quote and then we'll start the practice together. You might have heard it before. So here we go. She says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You're a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We're all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our light, our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So this way of shining our light, shining our goodness, not in this self-centered way, but as a way of serving, as a way of serving others, letting this light, all the gifts that have been given to be of service. So with those as themes for our practice, let's embrace some silence.